Agbado, Agbado, here it is. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here we go again. Here I am. Hope you're there. The session starts. Your company required. That thing that happens twice a day. Second installment of the day happening right now. If you are available, avail yourself of what is going on here. One man went to mow. The ego has landed.
Sunday,
And it is right there. They Sunday win the song from the eastern part, the Igbos. The Igbos are Sunday or Wendy, as guys, I bring you this 2023, the men who will deliver for Tinubu. So hopefully the body of this piece will present us then who the front runners, who the key players, and who the APC campaign train is reliant upon. 2023, the men who will deliver for Tinubu. So who those are, you'll find out shortly. I will implement state police, ATIKU tells Edo supporters in Benin. So it looks as though any and everything promised to every and anyone by this character from Adamawa State. Desperation is the undertone of this. I will implement state police, ATIKU tells Edo supporters in Benin. So quite what simply there we find out shortly. ATIKU unveils his 5-point agenda with unification, security, economy topping the list. So a manifesto somewhat of some sort, you would want to say. This presentation by the Adamawa guy, but what is the content of it? And does it mirror all rival beneath or exceeds the presentation from the APC space. So all of that we'll find out shortly. ATIKU unveils his 5-point agenda with unification, security, economy topping the list. So quite a unification. It's almost like this guy is trolling us. Still with that space, not the ATIKU space, but the presidential space. Tinubu gets rousing welcome in Kano. So there it is right there. We are in that phase now of crowd pulling. Who can pull more crowd than the other? This seems to be where the politics is at for the moment. And Tinubu will say, I will take your 5 million, your 1 million man march, supposedly, and present you an alleged 5 million man march. So it's on the street politics that we're playing at the moment. Tinubu gets rousing welcome in Kano. Kano, you will suggest, of course, a key state that must be hung on to by the criminal from Lagos. So from that to this, we are proud of you. PDP reacts as Buhari honors Wike. So there it is right there. Buhari honors Wike, but really, is this sort of like a romancing of that space? This now push, this subtle moves, meetings with Tinubu, Buhari wrapping his hands around him. So is this really the romancing of Wike to APC? So all of those questions are embedded within that political space. We are proud of you, and PDP, of course, trying to cling on to him. We are proud of you. PDP reacts as Buhari honors Wike. So quite what's in play there, we find out shortly. Crowd of supporters welcome Tinubu to Kano. So it looks as though that's somewhat repetitive. So we take one and abandon the other. Why I will devolve more power to other tiers of government. This is Atiku Abubakar still promising all manners of everything and anything to anybody that is loose of mind enough to fall for the wily ways of the Adamawa man. So the Adamawa man speaks, why I will devolve more power to other tiers of government. Atiku Abubakar making the headline there. Ishaku Daudu dumps PDP, joins APC in Kebbi. So you might well think this is a satellite news, but he is somewhat one of the key players within that zone. And it's really now a case of going from state to see how much you can get off the opposition to park in your direction. And it looks as though a big fish has been landed within that space. Justin Ishaku Daudu dumps PDP, joins APC in Kebbi State. So quite what led to that we find out shortly. And still, as I was saying, state by state politicking now. We round it off with Tinubu. Tinubu woos state governments with promises of increased federal allocation. So that is the divesting, the devolving, and the rebalancing of how monies are being distributed. So it comes closer to the people to hopefully bar corruption impact directly on what their immediate needs are. Tinubu woos state governments with promises of increased federal allocation. So more money for you to lose seems to be the undertone of this. But quite what that means, we find out shortly. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, click on the like button as you're coming in. Click on the subscribe button as well. We need to get those numbers up. So whatever you do, please make sure you are subscribed. It is hugely important that you are. Equally of equal importance, and that's tautology. If you've ever wondered what tautology means, that's just what I just did right there. Equally of equal importance. But of equal importance is the like button as well. So make sure those buttons are suitably addressed as you're coming in. Make sure you are already subscribed if you're not correct that. And make sure that you like the stream. Just as a matter of routine, as you're logging on, just click on the like button and fulfill that righteousness immediately. So fulfill that righteousness immediately. And there's this particular thing that we're pushing, which is the and let me put the hyperlink for the studio for you in case you want to come join in the conversation. So if you want to come up here on the screen, just click on that hyperlink that says StreamYard. That brings you into a studio space. Soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I let you onto the screen and a conversation ensues. It's an interactive session. It's an open microphone session. The open microphone, the open invitation for you to come and partake is that hyperlink that says StreamYard. And we're also people that usually do the super chats and super sticks. We're also introducing this portal for you to donate towards the platform as well, which is the buy the coffee thing. A lot of people took it up in a huge flush, but that seems to have petered somewhat. So encourage the space by buying the space a coffee. But the super chat function already in place, of course. And very quickly to take advantage of that has been Ayo, who super chats to say looking forward to an amazing interactive and educative session. So a high bar, hopefully we meet that for you, Ayo, as I'm sure we often do. That is why you continue to join us. So there it is. So lean back, surrender yourself to the space. Just give it up already. Know that however long, usually lasts about 5 to 6 hours. So that is 5 to 6 hours of your lives are documented and accounted for. If anybody asks you where you are between now and the next 5 hours, just tell them that I am your witness. You were with one man went to mow. So there it is right there. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed. Water, only water. Water, only water. Where they see ma. Water. Oh yes, you go for me, water, 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 water. Water, only water. Where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Chifu Wike àti kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Olúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní rí wà gbéṣe o. And there it is right there. May death have nothing to do with us. I'm not sure that there's any prayer more important in life than that. First life, then everything else. So first life, then, pardon me. So first life, then everything else. So as guys, I bring you this. The men who will deliver for Tinubu. So who are they? The analysis that points to a possible success of the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kassim Shettima at the forthcoming presidential election to be in the hands of Babajide Raji Fashola, H.E. Abdulaziz Yari, Senator Soji Akanbi, Senator Bello Tukar, amongst others, who made the list of Planning and Monitoring Committee of the presidential election in 2023 is very true. As a matter of fact, the analysis that the fate of the APC presidential candidate and his running mate is then very correct. As we may all know, the major committee that plays major role in the presidential election is Planning and Monitoring Committee, which means the committee members are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring adequate planning to ensure the success of the presidential election in 2023. The team players in Nigeria politics across Nigeria made the list based on their past and antecedents. So I'm not quite sure. This is a badly written piece, I have to say, but let me take it from the top again. It's somewhat stilted just because really it's badly written, but we'll soldier through. We'll soldier through. The analysis that points to a possible success of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kassim Shettima at the forthcoming presidential election to be in the hands of Babajide Raji Fashola, His Excellency Alhaji Yari, Senator Soji Akambi, Senator Bello Tukur, amongst others, who made the list of Planning and Monitoring Committee of the presidential election in 2023 is very true. As a matter of fact, the analysis that the fate of the APC presidential candidate and his running mate is then very correct. So you see that's just word salad right there. As we all know, the major committee that plays major role in the presidential election is Planning and Monitoring Committee, which means the committee members are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring adequate planning to ensure the success of the presidential election in 2023. The team players in Nigeria politics across Nigeria made the list based on their past antecedents in politics. The members were carefully selected according to their capacity in the area of intelligence and high-level delivery. The key players are His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, the former governor of Lagos State and serving Minister of Works and Housing, His Excellency Alhaji Yari, a former governor, Senator Adesoji Akambi, the former senator and chairman of Railway Commission in Nigeria, and Senator Bello Tukur, FMRDG, also Professor UCG Madia, amongst other important Nigerians who have been tested and can be trusted in their capacity and capabilities in politics. Monitoring the election after casting of votes by the electorate is another key role in the election, which the members of the committee are responsible for in delivering Asiwaju Bola Tinubu Shettima ticket in 2023. All eyes would be set on these committee members in the area of polity delivery with the profile of the members and past records in Nigeria. So I don't quite know what we just read there. I'm not quite sure that this person should be allowed to be but really, what the only takeaway that we are taking away is just the list of names. So essentially, the engine room of the Tinubu campaign is manned by these names that are being presented. So that's essentially what we're taking away from this. The Planning and Monitoring Committee. So that's the whole expanse of the political space right there. And a lot of people that have been asking where Fashola is, well, Fashola is at the epicenter of the Tinubu ambition. So it's at the heart of everything. The key players again, His Excellency Raji Fashola, the former governor of Lagos State and serving Minister of Works and Housing, His Excellency Abdulaziz Yari, a former governor, Senator Adesoji Akambi. I don't know who he is, I have to admit, but certainly he must be of quantity and quality to be on that list. The former senator and chairman of Railway Commission in Nigeria, Senator Bello Tukur, also Professor Osiju Media. So those are the key names according to this author. So that's essentially the engine room of the Tinubu campaign. So that's the engine room of the Tinubu campaign. So quite what you are making of those names, reflect on that and come have a conversation about that with me. So let me post the hyperlink to the room again, just so you can get in quickly before it's completely filled up. So get in quickly. If you want to come join me in the studio to discuss any of this, then click on the hyperlink, and then of course that brings you to the studio. Soon as I finish reading our lecture on, and then we engage in a conversation. I will implement state police. ATIKU tells Edo's supporters in Benin. Or race. All right, two ways. The presidential candidate on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has promised to implement the policy of state police to address the security challenges in the country if elected in the 2023 general elections. Speaking today, October the 22nd, at his campaign rally in Benin City, Edo State, Atiku also promised to revive Nigeria's ailing economy by partnering with the private sector to ensure factories and industries resume operation for production. He said that reviving the now moribund factories and industries would create an avenue for more job opportunities for the teeming youth population. Today, we are before you to restate our commitment. I will restate our 5 program commitments to the people of Nigeria. We will revive the economy. We will make sure factories and industries resume production in this country. We will make sure there are enough jobs for our youth. This is what we mean by reviving the economy. We will work together with the private sector to make sure that industries and factories, particularly in Edo, resume operation so that there will be enough jobs for you. Listing other sectors in his 5 point agenda, the presidential hopeful assured that he would improve infrastructure by rehabilitating roads that link Edo to other regions and provide an efficient rail system for seamless interstate movement of goods and services. We will and shall, together with the private sector, make sure we have real established systems across this country so that you can move freely and so that goods and services can move across this country. We have promised to reunify this country. This means that we are going to give every part of this country a sense of belonging. You will not be excluded from anything. And that is why we are being referred to as the unifiers. Or I don't know who refers to Atiku as a unifier. Or by the way, I think Yemsen Wike has pulled his trousers down and exposed his bare arse. So there it is. We will restore security. Whatever is going to take us to do, we shall restore security in this country so that you can travel day and night, go to your farms, and go anywhere secured. By that, what we mean is that we will put more policemen on the streets. We will equip and fortify them. Since we have promised to devolve more powers to the state and local governments, you can also have your local police. We shall make sure your local police don't harass you. We will send back all our eligible children to school. If you remember, during the PDP years, we established primary school education and made it compulsory in secondary schools. I don't know quite what that means, but we are asking Nigerians to educate these children, but this All Progressive Congress APC government is not keeping to that promise. The nation's universities will not go on strike. I assure you by the grace of God, I promise you that. The presidential hopeful, who said APC is not a party to be supported owing to the prevailing challenges facing the citizens, urged Edo people to continue to support and stand by the umbrella party. You are seeing how APC has destroyed this country, destroyed the economy of this country, destroyed educational opportunities and job opportunities. APC is not a party to be supported. Therefore, we call on you to be loyal to PDP, and PDP will be loyal to you all. By the grace of God, I am here with many leaders of the party. They have done it before. We have seen what Governor Godwin Obaseki has done in Edo State, what Governor Emmanuel Udom is doing in Upper Ibom State, and what Aminu Tambuwal is doing in Sokoto State. Go to any PDP state and you will see development in education and infrastructure. But when you go to any APC controlled state, you will not find anything there. So I'm not quite sure that rolling out a metro line in Lagos is not finding anything. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, my fellow people of Edo State, I have come here to make this undertaking, and I promise you, we will fulfill our promises. He added, Ifeanyi Okowa, Delta State Governor, and the party's vice presidential candidate, said that with collective efforts, ATIKU will get the votes that will make him become president in the election. I am one of you, and together we shall deliver the votes that will make ATIKU become president of this country. By the special grace of God, we will work with the governor and all of you to deliver Nigeria from hunger, poverty, and insecurity. The national chairman of the party, Yocha Ayu, said that the candidates were carefully selected because of their outstanding performances and experiences in governance, urging Nigerians to vote massively for them. Earlier, the host Governor Godwin Obaseki, who described Edo as the heartbeat of the PDP, said, "Today, we are doing what our leaders did in 1999 when PDP was established and produced the president at that time. The Legacy Group, a faction of the party in the state, led by the National Vice Chairman South-South, Chief Dan or Obi, were absent at the rally." So the internal squabbles, even at the local space of the PDP. So there it is right there. So there it is right there. Some things change, but really they remain the same. Why I will devolve more power to other tiers of government. So this is ATIKU fleshing out policy positions on its campaign trail. Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), on Saturday explained that he was committed to devolve more power to the two tiers of government for even development. Atiku stated this in Benin during his presidential campaign rally in Edo, with a call on the people of the state to vote for the PDP at the 2023 general elections. The PDP presidential candidate observed that power devolution to other tiers will entrench more development at the grassroots. Atiku, who was joined by other bigwigs in the party, also pledged to set up state police to address the pervasive state of insecurity in the country. We will restore security whatever it takes us to do it. We shall restore security so that you can go to your farms secured. We shall put more policemen on the streets and equip them. We will devolve more powers to the state and local government and create state police that will not harass you, he said. The former vice president, who anchored his campaign on 5-point agenda, stated that he would revive Nigeria's economy with factories and industries resuming production. His government, he said, would work with the private sector to create jobs for the youth. The presidential flag bearer of the opposition party also expressed the desire to raise infrastructure development in the country, particularly in Edo, so that the South Nigeria could easily link to other parts of the country. So there it is right there. I mean, the wordings, they don't really change from presidential candidates to the other, especially the front two, because pretty much the pain points, the areas of need in Nigeria, they're visible and visceral and immediate and urgent. So it's really just to speak to that. You can't not really speak to anything else. Atiku, who described himself as a unifier, said he will run an inclusive government where voices will be given to women and youths. He added that under his government, every child must go to school, whilst university staff would not be allowed to go on strike. The presidential hopeful, however, lauded the people of Edo for always standing with the PDP, saying he had come to Edo to make an undertaking with the people. This undertaking, he said, would fulfill and reclaim all the lost glories to the country. In his message, Iyocha Ayu said PDP government could restore economic prosperity into the country. It is only the government that can restore. It is only the government that can rescue the country from the present situation. So it is only the government that can rescue, of course, but you expect him to say it is only the PDP government. But I'm not quite sure if it was essentially really as specific as it could have been, really should have been. So let's see. So where were we? Mr. Ayu said ATIKU Okowa were the only ones that could deliver the country, hence they needed to be voted for. Earlier in his homage, the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewere II, earlier in his homage to the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewere II, Atiku called on royal fathers in Nigeria to help with prayers towards peaceful transition in 2023. Oba Ewere, in his response, said the palace would have Atiku and the PDP in prayer and beseech God, who ordained to choose the best for the country. So that is the traditional language of the royal space in Nigeria. God give us the best man. And I don't really think there's any expectations that they should be saying anything outside of that. So may God give us the best man. That's just what all the royal houses will say. And that is what the royal house in Edo State is saying in this instance. As I stay with Atiku still, this might well be somewhat repetitive, but let's see what this offers. Atiku unveils his 5-plan agenda with unification, security, economy topping the list. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the 2023 general elections on Saturday, took his campaign rally to Benin City, the Edo State capital, where he unveiled his 5-point agenda with the unification of the country, security for all, and economy revitalization topping the list. While speaking at the flag off, Atiku said, "Today we are before you to restate our 5 programs committed to the people of this country, which starts with a promise to unify this country." What do we mean by that? We mean we are going to give each and every part of this country a sense of belonging. But that sense of belonging did not extend in Kaduna State when he was telling his clansmen to hate on the Igbos and Yorubas. What we mean by that, we mean we are going to give each and every part of this country a sense of belonging. You will not be excluded in anything. But of course, it was calling for that exclusion in Kaduna. That is why we have been in the battle of unifier of our great nation. We promise to restore security, and whatever is going to take us to do that would be pursued to a logical conclusion so that you can move day and night, go to your farms anywhere and anytime. By that, what we mean is that we will put more policemen on the streets, we will equip and fortify them. Since we have promised to devolve more power to state and local governments, you can also have your local police and also make sure that your local police does not harass you. Atiku also promised that if elected president in 2023, his government will send back all eligible children to school, and it will be a must that every child must go to school. So this is somewhat repetitive of what we have read. So that seems to be his plan. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they should have itemized this so that so that we know. So that's article now. So vague and opaque. So vague and opaque is really it's said a lot without actually saying anything. Essentially, what we must conclude from there. It said a lot without actually saying anything. Tinubu gets rousing welcome in Kaduna. The All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Saturday not in Kaduna but in Kano. I do beg your pardon. Let me give you that headline again, or maybe even take it from a different space. I think we had it in another space. So, oh yeah, let's take it from here since that one somewhat tried to make me look so a little bit silly. So let's take it from here. Crowds of supporters welcomed Tinubu to Kano. So we take it from here instead. It's really the same story. The members of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC turned out in their thousands on Saturday to welcome the presidential candidate of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was on a 3-day official visit to Kano State. From the entrance gate of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport to the security area, it was a sea of heads who waited patiently to catch a glimpse of Tinubu. Tinubu, who arrived Kano at midday, was received by the governor of the state, Dr. Alhaji Umar Ganduje, alongside Jigawa and Zamfara state governors, Alhaji Badaru Abubakar and Alhaji Mohammed Bello Matawele, respectively. The presence of a huge crowd of supporters at the airport tarmac, and very soon they will tell us that they are rented crowds, so the usual things that you hear in this space. The presence of a huge crowd of supporters at the airport tarmac forced the cancellation of the airport ceremony as organizers brought a tinted black SUV Jeep that conveyed him to a waiting bus where prominent stalwarts were already seated. A similarly huge presence of party faithfuls that lined up major streets where he was built to follow saw Tinubu travel 1.5 hours as against 5 minutes drive to Club Road, where he commissioned the Kano APC Campaign Council office. Tinubu, who appeared overwhelmed by the crowd's turnout of party supporters upon disembarking from the bus, raised his hand high in the sky to acknowledge the jubilant crowd. The presidential candidate, accompanied by a long motorcade, also moved to Audu Bako Way, where he commissioned the Kano APC Campaign Coordinating Office. The itinerary seen by correspondents on Tinubu's movement in the city noted that he is expected to commission the Kannywood office in the state capital and later be treated to a dinner with members of the Kano business community. So in the course of it, we probably want to dig out just a clip of this. Let me see if we can dig that up now. Let me just see Tinubu, Kano, and then let's okay, let's see. I think we may well have it. Hold on. Oh, all right. Let's grab this one. Let me just quickly grab this. Let me grab it. Let's grab it. Let's grab it. So let me grab this. Let's do that. YouTube. Let's ding dong. Un momento. Talk amongst yourself. Keep yourself busy. Talk amongst yourself. Just give me one moment. I just grab this. Pop it in there. So in the course of, we'll get a watch of. So in the course of, we'll get a watch of this. So yeah, let me just, let's grab that. So let's grab that. Come on now. We don't have the time for all that. Maybe I should have played your music whilst I'm doing the grabbing. Okay. Okay. We'll wait for that to download, because we are now really at the epicenter of the campaign. So we're now in the thick of it. So the thick of it is where we are now. And this is where we are now in the process that separates the men from the boys. So the men from the boys. According According to the program of the visit, Tinubu will also pay a courtesy call on the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, as well as hold audience with the emirs of Gaya, Rano, Bichi, and Karaye. The APC flag bearer, while during the visit, not while but will, the APC flag bearer will during the visit hold interactive sessions with members of the Tijanaya sect, Kadriya movement, Alus Sunnah, a Christian Association of Nigeria leadership, and APC support groups in the state, amongst other functions. So there it is right there. And so this is the 9 yards, the hard grind that is politics. So this is the boring bits where you go and visit all these pecuniary interests, because the Tijaniya sect is a very pecuniary interest. The Christian Association of Nigeria is a pecuniary space. So all of these spaces wanting the assurances that their space would not be disadvantaged if he ever becomes president. And he wants to be giving them assurances that he will be able to fulfill if he does end up in that space. So this is the boring grind of the electioneering space, but this is where elections are won and lost. So where elections are won and lost. Okay, so let's keep that because we've already read that in another space. We are proud of you. PDP reacts as Buhari honors Wike. So this is politicking now, sleight of hand. So Buhari honoring Wike, of course, Wike in the middle of the road politically, but carrying a lot of gold in his bag. So where he deposits that gold, essentially, Buhari wants to influence that. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) congratulated Rivers State Governor Yemson Wike on his conferment of the Distinguished Award in Infrastructure Delivery at the Nigeria Excellence in Public Service Award. PDP, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Honorable Debo Ologunagba, on Saturday, commended the Rivers State Governor for executing the party's program, projects, and policies. Ologunagba said Wike's award is in recognition of his exceptional accomplishments on infrastructure in line with the manifesto of the PDP. So there's still, whether he likes it or not, there's still, and that's also clever politics you have to concede on the part of the PDP. Just still reaching into that space to say that, look, whether you're a member of this party or not, whether you have a gripe against the party or not, we will still use your name as leverage to our political advantage. So they are, of course, taking the attribution of that, they're owning the attribution of this award to their party policies and he being a member of the party. Ologunagba said Wike's award is in recognition of his exceptional accomplishments on infrastructure in line with the manifesto of the PDP. PDP publicity scribe also said the national award on the outstanding PDP governor is an admission by the All Progressive Congress APC-led federal government of exceptional development strides that can only be conceptualized, driven, and executed under the policy thrust and manifesto. So they've really gone hard. As somebody that knows English is the person that wrote this. Uh, PDP publicity scribe also said the national award on the outstanding PDP governor is an admission by the All Progressive Congress APC-led federal government of the exceptional development strides that can only be conceptualized, driven, and executed under the policy thrust and manifesto of the PDP. The statement reads in part, Governor Wike, as a committed member of the PDP, has been executing legacy projects alongside other governors elected on the platform of our party in line with the policies and programs of the PDP arising from the deep thought and analysis of the needs of the people. PDP governors are outstanding in turning their state into oases of development through the delivery of landmark people-oriented infrastructural projects. This informs why Nigerians across the board are rallying with the PDP, knowing that with PDP federal government by May the 29th, 2023, Nigeria will become an ocean of development. The PDP applauds Governor Wike and urges him to see the award as a call to do more in the service of our dear fatherland and humanity. So this award, it makes even more that Wike space even more intriguing because, of course, there is Wike in the middle of the road. There is the party thinking to abandon him or not, but then the federal space acknowledges him as an achiever. So that then even adds more gloss to his sheen. So there it is. But there it is. I'm more than certain that that is politicking on behalf of the federal space. I'm more than certain that pardon me. All right. There is one more headline that I would like to bring you. All right. There's one more headline that I would like to bring you. So I'll move this to the side. I'll only really saying the headline, but hopefully the content leads rather up to it. Let's see. So let's go on to this. Ishaku Daudu dumps PDP, joins APC in Kebbi. A former commissioner of environment and a one-time local government chairman of Danko Wasagu local government area, Comrade Ishaku Daudu, has formally defected to the All Progressive Congress APC from the People's Democratic Party PDP. Comrade Daudu, who was a staunch member and a prominent stakeholder of the PDP in Kebbi for over 20 years, was on Saturday, October the 22nd, received into the APC in a colorful ceremony at the party secretariat in Benin, Kebbi. So that Kebbi, of course, will be the Abubakar Malami space. So quite what influence Abubakar Malami has in that switch. Maybe some of the dollars that he has been looting. He was received into the ruling party by the state chairman of the party, Abubakar Mohammed Kanan Zuru, chairman of the APC Elders Forum, Alhaji something or the other, APC Zonal Vice Chairman, Kebbi Central, Alhaji Bello Metawale, Alhaji Abubakar Dabadaba, Alhaji something, and the usual retinues of our abokis. So what a retinue of abokis are welcoming him. Speaking shortly after making his declaration to join APC, Daudu said he joined the ruling party APC in good faith, following overtures from friends and well-meaning people, including the party's gubernatorial candidate, Dr. Nasser Idris Quran Gwandu. So none of these names actually sound like Nigerian names, and we know what northern Nigerian names sound like. But I've never yet come across, traditionally, I've never come across a northern Nigerian called Nasir, Nasir. That seems a name further down the Sahels. That seems almost Arab in texture, that name, Nasar, and then Kwaram. So Kwaram, Kauran. Usually, our northerners, they're usually Abdul, Mukhtar, Adanladi. So those are traditional northern Nigerian names. But these names, they seem somewhat alien and foreign to our space. According to him, plans were underway to also sway into the PDP fold local government and ward executives from PDP, not only in his local government area, Danko Wasagu, but look how, anyway, let me not do that, but sometimes it strikes. So we claim to be from the same country, and I'm hearing a place called Danko Wasagu. I from Afijio local government area, or you are laughing. That Danko Wasagu it might as well be Beijing. It's just so foreign and alien. So foreign and alien. But that's the thing. Strength in diversity, but then of course, what Malam Buhari has made of it. So a power base moving from the PDP to the APC in Kebbi State. 2023, Tinubu woos state governments with promises of increased federal allocation. So let's see if this gives what a promise is. Bola Tinubu, the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, has promised an upward review of revenues accruable to state governments if he is elected next president. Mr. Tinubu made the promise in his campaign action plan tagged Renewed Hope, made public in Abuja on Friday. He listed this as one of the steps to bridge the development gap between the federal government and the 36 state governments and the Federal Capital Territory FCT. According to the document, Mr. Tinubu also explained that the initiative would bring faster development to the grassroots areas across the country. The allocation of revenue between the federal and state governments will be adjusted to give greater flexibility to foster. It didn't give us percentage, maybe it does. The allocation of revenue between the federal and state governments will be adjusted to give greater flexibility to foster grassroots economic development, he said. Under the current sharing arrangement, the federal government takes 52.62% of the revenue shared. States get 26.72%, whilst local governments get 20.60%. Under his economic blueprint, Mr. Tinubu also proposed fiscal activity. Let's take that again. But I'm looking for percentages, but it's not giving us percentages. So I mean, what's it divesting to? Sorry, have I missed something? I don't think I've missed anything. So sorry, I'm going to take that entirely all over again because it's not giving what it promises. Bola Tinubu, the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, has promised an upward review of revenue accruable to state governments if he's elected next year. So an upward review. So an upward review is somewhat of a vague promise because it doesn't land anything anywhere. Point something percentile is an upward review. Mr. Tinubu made the promise in his campaign action plan tagged Renewed Hope, made public in Abuja on Friday. He listed this as one of the steps to bridge the development gap between the federal government and the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. According to the document, Mr. Tinubu also promised that the initiative would bring faster development to the grassroots across the country. The allocation of revenue between the federal and state governments will be adjusted to give greater flexibility. So greater flexibility. In fact, you don't even want flexibility really. You want a categorical split. That is, what does flexibility mean? So if you want to change it, you change. If that is just an inappropriate and somewhat of a confusing choice of words, the allocation of revenue between the federal and state governments will be adjusted to give greater flexibility to foster grassroots economic development, he said. Under the current sharing arrangement, the federal government takes 52.62%. All right. Under the current sharing arrangement, so I was just pausing to reflect on that 50. It's just everything is just wrong with that country, every single thing. Under the current sharing arrangement, the federal government takes 52.668% of the revenue shared. States get 26.72%, whilst local governments get 20.60%. So, because the local government are vested within the state, so you could still say that what goes to the local government still goes to the localized space within the state. So let's say that's like what is that? That's like a 47 point something percent. So even anyway, under his economic blueprint, Mr. Tinubu also proposed a fiscal activeness, which includes anti-corruption, prudence, open governance, and mutual trust between government and the governed. He also promised to drastically reduce the overdependence on crude oil earnings and over exportation of other raw materials capable of growing local industries. We will improve our existing industries and sectors. We will be brave and innovative enough to see how new economic visitors are powered by today's technology can create jobs and provide goods and services that will propel us towards greater prosperity and development. We will build an economy that produces more of the everyday items, both agriculture and manufactured goods, that define an individual's and a nation's standard of living, he said. So, no more importing toothpicks is essentially what that means. So, the story that I saw latterly, bear with me 1 second. Pardon me. Oh, all right. I may well bring you this Johnson Suleiman storyline as well, because it is something that is trending within the news cycle. So there are two phases of, anyway, no, I'll bring you it and then we'll discuss it when we get there. Because there's several concerning incidents. There are several concerning things about that incident that we may necessarily want to have a conversation around. So let's just let's prolong that one as well. Nigerian government asked to postpone 2023 census. So this is the one that I saw latterly that I thought to bring you. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria (HURIWA) on Saturday called for the postponement of the 2023 National Population and Housing Census. The group said postponement of the exercise is vital to guarantee free and fair election in the 2023 elections. HURIWA's national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Onwu Biko, in a statement, said the idea of a census is senseless and makes no economic sense, especially at a time when Nigeria is battling the devastating effects of our flood and hyperinflation. The group wondered about the hurried need for a census barely 4 months to the general election in February 2023, urging Nigerians to reject the grand plan by the administration of Mohamed Buhari to perpetuate the All Progressive Congress in power. HURIWA also tackled a federal commissioner of the National Population Commission representing Anambra, Chidi Ozeoke, who on Friday said calls for the postponement of the 2023 National Population and Housing Census is ill-advised. Onwubiko said, "We support the indefinite suspension of census because it is meant to create bogus figures to justify planned elections heist by the All Progressive Congress in the 2023 polls. Also, the constitution of the hierarchy of the commission is tainted because President Mohamed Buhari insisted on a Muslim as executive chairman after he found out that the initial nominee he had picked for the same position is a Christian from Nasarawa State, so he chose a Muslim, thereby making Nasarawa representation to be two in that commission just so he can allegedly cover up his clandestine plot. Secondly, Nigeria is in hyperinflation and floods are ravaging the country. So why waste so much money? Why fritter this humongous money to stage a pre-arranged headcount meant to cement the error-prone government magic that the North is more populated than the South, so to score cheap political goal? Buhari's administration cannot be trusted to conduct transparent census before general elections for obvious reasons. Nigerians must reject this plot by standing up against any proposed census because it is worrisome that the APC government slept for 7.5 years and suddenly woke up now, few months to the presidential election in February, for so-called population and housing census that does not and have not advanced Nigeria in any way, neither has it assisted the national planning and programs of the country. So let me just let me check when they are actually going to have that census. Population census. Nigeria. Okay. Right. I'm just trying to see if I can get the date for bar. 2022 census Nigeria. Oh, hold on. Bear with me. I'm not quite sure. If anybody can check when that census is going to take place, we'll be very grateful. That should if that is pre-election, then that tells you then you can just bin. And like these people are saying, just a really painful waste of money. Civic group RULAAC condemns Nigeria's police killing of Apostle Suleiman's suspected attacker, demands investigation. A civic organ. And by the way, I'm only bringing you this story really because I saw a clip of how that guy was killed, the so-called suspect. So this is a guy that was apprehended and he was in a car. He was apprehended and detained, held in a car to be transported. And the policeman came. If I can find the clip, I'll post the link in the comment section. It's obviously not something I can share with you. But it was apprehended and brought to the police station. No, it wasn't brought to the police station. It was apprehended and placed in a car to be transported. And then a policeman came and just opened the door. And there was a crowd around there. So they were all filming it on their smart and also not so smart phones. And he just opened fire on the guy. And they were cheering him for doing that. So I think the officer that did that has been apprehended. But let's find out what the latest development is. A civic organization, the Rule of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, has condemned the killing of a man suspected to be amongst the gunmen that attacked the founder of the Omega Fire Ministry, Apostle Johnson Suleiman's convoy, on Friday in Edo State. RULAAC, in a statement released by its executive director, Okechukwu Nwaguma, claimed that the deceased was arrested by a group of vigilantes who handed him over to the Nigeria Police Force for further investigation on the matter. The group therefore described the killing as unprofessional and a breach of ethical codes guiding operatives of the Nigeria Police Force. The statement reads, RULAAC condemns the extrajudicial killing of one of the attackers of Apostle Johnson Suleiman by Auchi police, calls for prompt, impartial, and exhaustive probe. RULAAC condemns the alleged extrajudicial killing of one of the attackers of Apostle Johnston Suleiman, allegedly by the Divisional Police Officer DPO in Auchi, CSP Oyedele Suleiman, after the suspect was arrested alive by members of a vigilante group and handed over to the police. Reports have it that 7 persons, including 3 policemen and 4 domestic staff of Apostle Johnston Suleiman, were killed late Friday near Auchi at the water tank junction along Warake Auchi Road on his way to Auchi, returning from a foreign mission. Information available to UNVIEL indicates that the suspect was apprehended by members of a vigilante group who promptly handed him over to the DPO, who extrajudicially executed him. Killing the suspect is unprofessional and raises questions about motive. The action destroys evidence by denying the opportunity to interrogate and hear from him about other fleeing members of the criminal gang, their probable motive, their likely sponsors, and other vital information surrounding the crime. On taking over the suspect from the vigilante group, the police, without any investigation, extrajudicially executed the suspect, denying him the chance, which he is entitled to under the law, to appear in court where his guilt or otherwise would be established following a fair trial. Could a DPO have unilaterally taken such extrajudicial and reckless action without reference to the Commissioner of Police? It will be expected that a DPO, upon receiving a suspect in such a serious crime, would notify his CP. Did the DPO notify his CP? What directives could the DPO have received from the CP that emboldened him to carry out such a heinous or illegal and scandalous act? If it turns out to be the case that the CP Edo ordered the unlawful killing of the arrested suspect, the CP should be liable for giving an unlawful order. But even if the officer who shot the suspect did so convinced that he was obeying superior orders, he will still be held personally liable, because obedience to superior orders is no justification or excuse under Police Act 2020. Such an order will be manifestly unlawful. A prompt, impartial, and exhaustive investigation by an impartial team outside Edo Police Command is warranted, the group added. Meanwhile, correspondents earlier reported that Apostle Suleiman also disputed a police report that claimed one of the gang members who allegedly attacked his convoy was killed in a shootout with officers along the Auchi Expressway in Edo. In a tweet he made on Friday night in response to the police claim, the cleric disclosed that the suspect was apprehended and handed over to the police at the scene where his convoy was attacked. He further questioned why the security personnel killed a suspect who might have revealed who was responsible for the horrific attack that happened to him. All right. So there it is, and some of the responses as well to that space has been somewhat of a thing. So we have the progressive with us. We only seem to have the progressive at the moment. So let's play the Tinubu clip, and then we hear from the progressive. Akim, it's you and I So there it is. Akim, are you there? All right, we don't appear to have Akim. All right, we don't appear to have Akim. So, so I guess that's an early night for me. So we'll do it again tomorrow. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say, peace.